Hi Adrian.
Hi Peter.
Good. I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yourself?
Good. Well, today, the purpose of today's meeting is just a little bit of question asking.
Okay.
And get some information from you in regards to your current health, your previous health, and what we hope to gain from this exercise program that we're about to embark on. And also at the end, we've got some nutrition advice from your 24-hour food recall.
Yep.
And we'll go through that. But first of all, we need to get some details, personal details from you. If you could just write all that stuff in. So how was your day?
Yeah, it's been very good. Been working.
This is a very tedious process, as you can see. The main purpose of all this is just to get some details in case I need you for an emergency, if I need to call you up or contact you, really.
Okay.
And if I need to make any referrals, I can refer to your GP, which you will supply in that form if you can. You done?
Yeah,
Thanks for that. We'll store that. And now I'm going to ask you some questions about your medical history. This is to identify your risk level, to see if there are any previous health risks that might place you at a risk now during your exercise program.
Okay.
So do you have any current medical problems that...
No.
No? Do you take any regular medications?
No.
No? Have any allergies by any chance?
I'm allergic to penicillin.
Okay. For how long?
Since I was born.
So how have you been finding that? Has that affected you in any way in your life?
I got a rash when I first tried it, then since then I haven't touched it.
So has it had any effect on... It wouldn't have any effect on your
No.
exercise, no?
No.
Have you had any sporting injuries or any occupational injuries maybe?
I hurt my tendon on my elbow at work.
Yeah.
It's almost fully recovered now.
So how'd you hurt it?
Lifting something in an awkward position.
Awkward and it just went?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So have you been to any health professionals like a physio or something?
I went to the doctor.
And what did he say?
He prescribed me some anti-inflammatory cream.
Yeah.
Inflammatory cream to rub into it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And how long have you been using it recently, or?
I used it for a week and it got better, and it said on the box not to use it for more than 2 weeks at a time, so
Yep.
I stopped taking it. I didn't need it.
So you think it's feeling much better now?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask you further questions about your past history, and I'm just going to ask, have you had any of these diseases? You just say yes or no, and I'll tick them off.
Okay.
So have you had epilepsy,
No.
diabetes,
No.
heart problems,
No.
heart murmur,
No.
asthma,
No.
a hernia,
No.
concussion?
Yes.
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 When was this concussion?
Grade 4 at school.
School?
Yeah, school.
And what happened?
I was running around, tripped over, hit my head on the ground.
Have you had any effects of it feeling recently?
No.
No headaches or anything like that? No?
No.
Okay. Now, do you wear glasses?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And no contact lenses?
No.
What about any protective equipment like a mouth guard or anything like that?
No.
No?
No.
Have you sustained a fracture in the last 3 years?
No.
A dislocation?
No. No.
Do you suffer from any recurring pain in any joint or muscle with play or practice or exercise?
No.
No? Any back or neck pain?
No.
Have you ever been treated for a head, neck or spinal injury?
No.
No? And now I'm just going to ask you to sign the informed consent here so we can prove that all this information provided is correct.
Yeah, 18th.
Yep. Thank you. Now we're going to move on to the next thing about your current. That was all your past stuff, past history, medical history, health history. Now we're going to look on to your current physical condition. Now I'm going to ask about all these different areas of the body. You say if you've had any pain or major injury to the following body parts.
Okay.
Feet or ankles?
No.
No. Knee?
No.
Calf or shin?
No.
Thigh?
Nope.
Hamstrings?
No.
Hip or groin region?
Nope.
Abdominal?
Nope.
Ribs?
Nope.
Lower or upper back?
No.
Shoulder?
Nope.
Upper arm or elbow?
Yes.
And that was that
Yeah, the
tendon injury.
tendon.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's alright, we'll get through that. So now, after going through all that, it appears that your risk stratification is low.
Okay.
So if we did have any problems, we would refer you on to the appropriate GP or medical professional to get clearance for an exercise program. But it looks right now that you'll be fine.
Okay.
Now we're going to move on to your exercise history and what you like to do. So hopefully we can gauge what exactly we can put into the program so we can get the best out of it for you. Okay, does your occupation require some form of physical activity?
Yes, I have to do heavy lifting and manoeuvring in tight spaces.
Is this, how long would you say this goes for? Is this prolonged lifting or
Yes. Yeah,
It is?
all day at work.
all day? Oh.
Not like constantly, but picking things up, putting it down,
Yeah.
holding things
Yep.
in the air.
How many times a week do you exercise? For how long and how hard is the exercise?
Currently nothing.
So within this could take into account walking the dog or anything like that?
No.
No? That's okay.
I walk to work, maybe. Like
You walk to work?
from where I park my car, it's maybe a 10-minute walk.
That's okay.
To and from
That's
work.
alright. And that's every day, is it?
Yeah.
That's not a bad way. That's what we call incidental physical activity. Great idea. Now, do you currently own or have you ever purchased a gym membership
No.
previously? And no?
No.
What types of exercise, sport or physical activity do you find enjoyable and fun? And conversely, what type of sport, exercise, physical activity do you not enjoy?
I enjoy indoor soccer.
Oh, yeah?
Futsal. Enjoy playing that.
Anything else?
I like watching football.
You like watching it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Watching it.
Okay. Now moving on, we've got further questions. Have you always seen yourself as an active person, including when you grew up?
Not really, no.
Not really?
No.
How come?
I just rather watch TV.
Okay, fair enough. That's why I'm here to change that, and you clearly want to change it. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Now, how often would you be available during the week to engage in exercise for activity within our exercise program?
Well, during the week, every night after 5 and weekends.
Okay.
So,
And would there be any reservations on time, as in how long you'd like a session to go for, or you wouldn't like to go over for long, or
hour seems
An
like
hour?
a good
Okay.
time frame.
Now we're going to go on to your exercise goals, what you hope to achieve out of this program. So what are your aims out of this program? So what do you hope to get out of it?
General health and fitness.
Yeah.
And my company has a sponsored fun run, 5K fun run. I'd like to be able to compete at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't mind doing that.
So we're going to have to build up your aerobic capacity then.
Yeah.
Get you all fit again. Okay. So how long do you feel you need to achieve these goals by?
6 months.
Okay. That sounds certainly achievable.
Yeah.
And now we're going to ask you to provide more informed consent, just down the bottom there.
It's my signature.
Yep. Just to provide further proof that that information was correct.
Yep.
Thank you. so we can make it more enjoyable for you. So now we're going to move on to the nutritional report, as I touched on when we first started.
Yep.
You provided me with a 24-hour food recall about a week ago,
Yep.
and I've analysed it through my little program, and these are the results. I've put it within what we call what's known as the 5 Australian Dietary Guidelines. So these are pretty much guidelines provided by the federal government to provide the general population information about how to be healthy through nutrition. So the first one is to achieve and maintain a healthy weight, be physically active and choose amounts of nutritious foods and drinks to meet your energy needs, which is pretty simple. The next one is to enjoy a wide variety of nutritious foods from the following 5 food groups. How did you feel you went? Do you feel, on your current diet, do you feel like you get enough nutrition each one?
No.
No? Well, according to this, you do.
I do.
Well, it's just within your vegetables and cereals and grains, you're down 1 serving compared to the guideline, which is actually quite good compared to many others. So my advice there would just to be consume those extra vegetables and cereals and grains. They're very good in carbohydrate, which is very good for providing energy, especially during aerobic activity, which is your running.
Yeah, alright.
And another question we have to ask is, do you have any cultural trends or beliefs that will make it difficult for you to meet the guidelines? You said no.
No. Nope.
And now, yes, we've done your recommendations. And the third guideline was to limit intake of foods containing saturated fat, added salt, sugars and alcohol. So what energy intake is usually recommended it being is being comprised of 40% from carbohydrate, and then 30% from fat. 30% from fat, and then 30 from, protein.
Okay.
And it appears you are comparing all your macronutrients, which are your fats, proteins and carbohydrates. You're at quite a high protein level, which is interesting, which may need to be reduced because it can lead to unwanted weight gain or reduction in kidney function. But that's quite easily manageable, so we can bring the protein down and increase carbohydrate in terms of its contribution to your percentage RDI of energy intake. So some recommendations I would make for your nutritional status is to just replace some of those protein sources